No, no, and no. How many times do I have to tell you, Sinclair? This is not a traditional remake. We're not just updating wardrobe hairstyles and dialogue. Yes, we're using the same basic premise, but this is a complete rewrite. I guarantee you that it will appeal to all those baby boomers who practically made Passport to Love a cult classic. My God, half the babies born in '79 were either named Jennifer or Gianni after our two leads.
I hear what you're saying. I just have a hard time believing that it'll do much at the box office in this day and age.
Need I remind you? This is one of the biggest grossing films in decades. It's a no-brainer. It's low budget. The studios stand to make millions, and not just from its theatrical release here, but from foreign distribution, DVDs, VOD. That age bracket is sick to death of all these huge superhero blockbusters. What they're looking for are real, relatable stories with blended families and characters just like themselves.
I don't know, Frank. Are those two even around?
Yes, our two leads are still alive and kicking.
Wasn't there something about bad blood between those two? Do they even know what you have planned?
No, I haven't had a chance to tell them yet that they'll be working together and that we're actually doing a remake of their earlier film. It just didn't seem...
That doesn't sound healthy.
Let me handle it. No one is more painfully aware of what happened the last time those two were paired up. I had a 3-picture deal, remember? Blacklisted for years because my new young Italian stud muffin was nowhere to be found midway through picture number 2. But that was then. This is now. I got them both coming in here tomorrow to read. I'm sure we can handle whatever happens personally between the two of them. It's ancient history, for God's sake.
I think I'm going to need some assurance.
Yes, I will put them on tape for you. God forbid you don't cover your ass while the rest of ours are out there swinging in the breeze.
Well, just as long as you keep me posted.
Yes, I will let you know how it went. I'm hanging up now. Goodbye, Sinclair. Goodbye. God help us if those two haven't moved on.
Hi, sweetie. How's the traffic?
Hi, Mom. Hey, how'd you know I'm driving?
This is LA. Everyone's always driving. What's up?
Just calling to check on you. How was your flight?
Good for a change. Definitely helps to have the studio spring for first class.
Still not what it used to be, but easier than a yoga position and coach for 5 hours.
How's Maxie?
Hey, Maxie, hi to your grandma.
Hi, Nana.
Hi, Maxie. We still on for tomorrow?
Can we stop in the video game store on the way back?
Excuse me, young man. Your grandma wants to spend quality time with you and all you can think about is burying your nose in the latest Tomb Raider?
Oh, Lori, lighten up. It's okay. That's what grandparents are for. And I hate to break it to you, but we moved on to Minecraft months ago.
Whatever. You and Dad totally ruined him for me that summer he went back Made me learn to hate a great female hero, too.
God, I used to love watching the two of them get so excited about a new game. Oh,
He would be so proud of Max to see.
see how much he's grown in only a year and a half.
Yeah, he would, wouldn't he? Hey, Mom, you up for company tonight? We could stop by, take you out for pizza.
Yay, pizza. We hardly ever get pizza.
Oh, thank you, honey. But I'm still a little frazzled from the trip, and I've got to go over these lines.
Sure, Mom. Maybe tomorrow night when I pick up Max at your place. And we want to hear all about this big audition of yours. Say goodbye to Grandma, Max.
Bye, Nana.
Bye, my sweet prince.
Hello, Jeremy here.
Ciao, Jeremy. It's Ricardo.
Hey, Ricardo. Glad you can make it. You all psyched and ready for tomorrow?
Well, as ready as I can, I guess. Say, Jeremy, this guy, I read the part that Mark sent me, and the way here, he is ethnically ambiguous. What the hell is that? Do you know if he told them that I am Italian?
Yeah, I took the call personally from some suit at the studio. Wanted to know if we still repped you here in the States. When I told him, si, senor, he said he wanted to see you as soon as he can. How cool is that, huh? None of us had even heard about this gig before he called. Now, the buzz is it's huge. Major studio backing, big-time distribution deal all lined up.
That makes me feel a lot better. You know, Mark didn't tell me much. Is he still there? He gave me the keys, but I...
No. He split about an hour ago, said something about his grandkids' games.
That's too bad. I just wanted to find out more about tomorrow.
Oh, hey, I almost forgot. Somebody down in the lunchroom today told me that you were really hot shit back in the day. You know, when you were young? Who knew? Yeah, that's just totally awesome, man.
Oh, great, Jeremy. Just let me know and tell Mark that I arrived safely if he calls.
Yeah, sure thing, man.
Miss O'Connor?
Yes. Oh, please, call me Sheridan. No matter how old I get, I still look over my shoulder for my mother every time I hear Miss O'Connor.
Sheridan, then. I'm Derek. I'm going to be helping Mr. Zelsky and Mr. Teschner with your audition tonight.
Super. Will you be reading with me, too? I looked around. I didn't see any age-appropriate men that might play the part of my lover. Hey, maybe you could play my handsome co-star.
Why don't we let Frank decide that?
Okay.
You all set? Ready to go?
Sure.
Follow me.
Sheridan. Ah, it's been way too long. Let me look at you. Wow. Age does have its privilege. At least for some of us. That vintage bottle I've been saving has nothing on you. Hey guys, didn't I tell you? Isn't she just as lovely as the first time we shot the original Passport to Love?
Gorgeous. Just gorgeous.
What's up with the ambush? I thought we were going to keep this kind of low-key.
Yeah. Hey guys, Sheridan is absolutely right. I promised her a quiet script read. Here I am getting ahead of myself. Well, why don't you all just take a little break for a few minutes, grab a coffee in the conference room while we get reacquainted. Okay? Derek, could you show them where the conference room is, please? Mark, if you will excuse me.
Sure.
You know, Frank, I haven't even seen the entire script. It's a good thing I trust you. Although in the interest of the viewing public, I doubt you'd try to sneak in any nude sex scenes at my age.
Thanks again, Sheridan. I can't tell you how happy I am you're on board with all this. I'll have legal get in touch with Saul and we can iron out the details. I'm sure the studio will insist on a little chemistry read between you and your co-star, but as far as I'm concerned, it's just a formality.
You know, I haven't had any problem working with any actor since that Randy Roman back in our first film. Now, give Saul a call when you need me. I'll be here.
Great, thanks.
Little chemistry read. Playing with fire, are we?
Yeah, well, I wasn't quite ready to go there yet. Better keep an extinguisher handy.
Hey there, Maxie. Hi, Mom. So what are you and Nana up to?
We're drawing them cups, and the Nana says we're gonna bake them so our drawings never ever come off.
Well, I'm not so sure about the never ever part. We'll have to see what the dishwasher does with them. But the internet article did say it's permanent.
Well, if the internet said it, it must be true.
You okay, honey? You look a little tired.
Nah, I'm good. Just overextended. Dr. Kaufman getting ready to retire, having me squeeze in all her patients too, many of whom are transgender. They have more questions than usual and eat up my time. What? Mom, we've gone through this before. One sexuality is a part of life and a part of my work. I want my son to grow up caring for others without bias. And I'd rather he hear about it from me.
Well, I don't remember you having any shortage of compassion. And I don't remember us discussing it around the dinner table either.
It's okay, Nana. I know there are all types of people with different orientations. Mom says I understand it all when I'm older.
Well, she's right. And it's just because I care about you and your mommy.
I guess what you and Dad did stuck with me because I can't seem to turn anyone away. Something's got to give. I'm going to look for another partner when Anna leaves.
Oh, I think that's a good idea.
Plus, this way it'll give me more time to spend with this little guy. But enough about me. How was your audition?
Well, if I may be so modest, you are now looking at Jennifer Graves, a professor of music at Harvard, and the lead in a new Frank Zelski production with Cinematic Studio.
Wow, that's great, Mom. They already told you?
Yeah. I was a little surprised. I mean, Frank and I go way back, but we haven't been in touch that much. And, you know, I mean, the only big thing we did together was that co-ed film Passport to Love when I was just starting out. My name was Jenny in that one, too. Frank must really have something for the name Jennifer. The scene I got was clever and kind of witty, so I'm hoping romantic comedy.
Well, I guess you'll find out when you read the rest of the script.
Yeah, I sure would like to have a look at it before the chemistry read.
Chemistry read? That's a new one?
Oh, old Hollywood tradition. They want to make sure that the two leads have chemistry before they put in the big bucks. Personally, I think it's a bunch of dirty old men that just like to see pretty girls being kissed. But there'll be a big surprise with us when they see two old farts up there.
Grandma, you said a bad word.
You're right, Maxie, and I shouldn't use that word either.
Now that Grandpa Sam's gone to heaven, does that mean you're gonna kiss somebody else?
No, sweetie, not like Grandpa. I mean, it'll be a pretend kiss like in the movies. Grandpa would understand.
So, anybody up for pizza?
Hey, there he is.
Oh, you look good.
Hey, you look good. International travel must agree with you. Sorry I had to cut out so early before you got up this morning. Did you get settled all right?
Oh, yeah, sure. No problem. Thanks for letting me stay again. And that ride of yours is almost as good as an Italian car.
Almost.
So have you been, Mark?
Good. I'm very good, Ricardo. I am, who am I bullshitting here? You know, things have been better. They're circling like the vultures, just waiting for me to retire. I got that call from Zelski, really made my day. So, how did it go?
Good evening, gentlemen. My name is Julian. I'll be your waiter for this evening. Can I get you guys started with a drink from the bar or some sparkling water for the table, maybe?
Yes, I'll have a Cinzano on the rocks with lemon and a Pellegrino with no ice, please.
Okay.
A vodka martini for me and tap water's fine.
Got it. I'll be right back.
I love you, Californians. Always worry about the environment until you get outside and you see what kind of car everybody's driving.
Yeah.
So, let's see, where were we? The audition, yes.
Yeah. It's been a while since you've seen Zelski, huh?
I haven't seen him since we did that teen movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that movie made his career. But he never had the decency to call me again. I was tempted not to come, but I couldn't resist. It's like, what was it that you used to say?
Nature of
the
beast.
nature of the beast,
Yes.
that's it. You know, Hollywood calls and we jump. We never know when the next big break is gonna come from.
Absolutely. Well, I'm glad you did come, and not because I'm just going to negotiate a really sweet deal with Cinematic for you. You know, you do realize that Passport to Love also made your career? And if I recall correctly, you had just signed a 3-picture deal with Zelsky before he ran out on everyone. That could be part of the reason why he hasn't gotten back to you soon.
That's ancient history, especially in Hollywood. Don't tell me that anybody can keep a grudge that many years.
I don't know, you know, sometimes it's not that easy to forgive and forget.
I hear your drinks, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Rossi, I've always been a huge fan of yours. You know, I'm a struggling actor myself, actually. I just have this job to pay the bills, and I was wondering if you might have any advice for me.
Well, yeah, sure. But you know, I think the best advice I can give you is never ask for advice from another actor. You know, besides being in the competition, what you need to do is talk to the people that have the contacts here, you know, the puppet masters. You know, like the agents and managers and producers. These are the people that can really get you work in this town.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
It's all fine and good, Saul. I said I'd go. I just wanted to get a name. Do my homework on this guy before I have to go in there tomorrow.
I hear you, doll. They just wouldn't budge.
I mean, we're not exactly kids. The mystery's not going to make it more exciting.
What can I tell you? The Pope's valet has looser lips than these guys.
Nobody knows nothing? We're talking Hollywood here, the original WikiLeaks. What's up with that?
I tell you if I knew.
No, you're right. We go back too far to play games.
Just ride this one out with me a little longer, okay?
I'll go there at 3 o'clock tomorrow, but I'm not agreeing to anything until I read the entire script.
Got it. Call me as soon as you can. I'm dying to know.
All right. I'll give you a call tomorrow, so. Bye.
We're in here. I think you know most everyone.
Sheridan?
Frank, how could you?
Amore mio. Che fa?
Sheridan, we need to.
Now is not a good time, Frank.
Okay, I know I handled that wrong. I admit it. I get it.
You think?
Hey, I knew you two had some kind of history of some kind of falling out, but that was like 30 years ago. I can't believe you still hold a grudge. I mean, he seems okay with it.
A falling out. A grudge. That's what you think this is. Not even close. I would have welcomed the chance to obliterate that man 30 years ago, and I'd do it again in a flash. Work with him? Yeah, right. When hell freezes over.
Okay, that went well.
Had I only known there would be no need to weep. Had I only known you would have made my life complete.
Pretty lady. Your wife?
No, almost. A century ago.
I see. So she dumped you for another guy way back when?
No, not really. I screw up. And I've been regretting it ever since.
Well, I certainly have had my share of disappointments. Hey, why don't you buy me a drink and we'll drink till love's lost?
Oh, young lady, I probably have socks in my drawer at home that are older than you are. Maybe another time. I don't think I would be good company tonight. Francisco, buy this young lady anything that she would like to drink.
Sure thing, Mr. Wilson. What can I get for you, miss?
Another white, please.
Hey, Ms. O'Connor.
Hi, Patrick. How are you today?
Good, how are you?
Good. Has my sister gotten here yet?
Yeah, she opted for the patio.
Okay. I see her. Thanks. Oh my God, Aunt Peg. Eileen didn't tell me you were going to be in town.
Well, I wasn't planning on coming out till next week, but Eileen made it sound like the future of civilization was hanging in the balance with your little family.
Oh, she did she?
You know it. Peg is just teasing. I may have casually mentioned that you had just turned down one of the best roles you'd been offered in years over some rotten Tuscan grapes.
Tuscan grapes?
She may have a point. I mean, how many lifetimes ago was that? It's just a movie, for God's sake, and you are an actress.
Okay, now I get it. You guys got together, right? Hooked up to have an intervention here? Nice. The only two people in the whole world that know what that man, how he hurt me.
Here we go. Can we ever just have a normal conversation instead of everything is about, Mom, she's picking on me again?
You are being a little melodramatic.
Thank you.
Whatever happened to compassion? Could I have a little sympathy?
Oh, well, I burned out all my sympathy 3 husbands ago. And now I've moved on to a more mindfulness approach. I'm becoming mindful of just how things are going to affect.
No. Speaking of self-interest, I was kind of hoping I'd be on the receiving end this time. I mean, come on. If this movie is anything like Passport was back in the Dark Ages, I could be using that to my advantage and get a lot of mileage out of it.
Mileage?
Don't you remember Nigel? My gorgeous Brit Nigel. Aunt Peg, it's the only time I have ever lusted over a 6-pack. Of course, he was only hanging around because of my sister's celebrity status. And then when she decided to abandon Hollywood for the stage, he dropped my ass like it was an outdated android.
You are incorrigible, you know that?
I love you and I made you smile, didn't I?
So much more becoming on you than that sour puss you came in with.
Gee, nothing like having the family together. All I need now is for Mom to show up.
Oh, speaking of which, your mother knows that you're back in town.
Hey, don't look at me. Lori said she went to see her last week. I don't have anything to do with it, so there.
I had a visit from Saul. He wanted me to convince you to do this movie.
Wait, what? Saul?
Oh, don't act so surprised. Saul and I go way back. Well, at least a husband or two ago. He wants desperately for you to be in this movie and me to be in his band.
Oh, Aunt Peg.
Everyone in Hollywood has had some. I don't mean to sound hurtful, but nothing as good has come along for you in years. And now that this nasty little thing called age has joined us, it may not happen again. So why? Why do you have to be so stupid?
It's not about me. I mean, what about Lori and Max?
Bullshit. Lori's an adult. She'll get over it. And Max is a kid.
And you're not married. Hell, you're not even sleeping with him.
Oh, you know that's not what I meant. Oh, God, I spent the last 30 years trying to keep a secret from Lori about the relationship I had with him. And now I'm going to invite him into our lives? Oh, God, she'd be devastated if she found out I had a past with him and I never told her.
She would be devastated? Or you would?
What's the matter, sis? You afraid that halo of yours might get tarnished and Lori will finally see her mother as a human? Oh, and I'm sorry. I mean, that was low for even me.
You think? God, I mean, just the thought of kissing him again after he dumped me like that. You know what the news media is going to do with this? I'm going to be a Hollywood laughingstock again.
No one laughed before. They pitied you.
Gee, and that's supposed to make me feel better?
I saw this picture. The way he looks today. I wouldn't kick him out. My bed.
Use it to your advantage. I mean, come on. It's time to exact a little revenge. And you are.
I know. I'm an actress, so act.
Yes.
Yay. Yes. Family.
Actress.
Morning. Sleep well?
No. That jet lag thing, still kicking my back.
Try kicking my ass or kicking my butt. Never mind. I had Saul overnight these. I figured I'd wait till I could show you all the dirty little details before I told you about it. The good news, Sheridan has changed her mind.
Oh, now I'm supposed to thank the Lady of Fatima, eh?
No, but her sister had something to do with it. Sheridan wasn't budging. Evidently, Eileen kept chipping away at her like one of those iceberg-breaking barges in Alaska. Finally, she cracked.
Ha! I thought she hated me a lot more than that witch they call La Mama.
What can I tell you?
I'm glad that she changed her mind, yes. But I know that the studio wouldn't have done it without the two of us. If you're okay with this, I'm okay with this.
Well, thanks for the vote of confidence, but you may not feel like that after you read some of the provisions she put in here. Reads more like a restraining order than it does a talent contract. You actually come off a little like Jack the Ripper. I know you guys were a hot item when you were teens doing Passport to Love, but what did you do to this girl to make her hate you 30 years later?
You know, she's the one that went to New York and married some guy 6 months after I was deported.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, gotta be something.
We're about 5 minutes out from your next scene, Miss O'Connor. Can I tell them you'll be ready?
Oh, absolutely, Chloe. We're just finishing up. Oh, look. The t-shirt from my old movie. It's just like the poster. Can't believe they still have those around. Tell them I'll be right there.
You got it, Miss O'Connor.
You know, you have been gnawing on that bottom lip of yours since you sat down in my chair. I've already redone your lips twice. If I didn't know any better, honey, I'd say you weren't all too happy about being here today.
Oh, Marty, you don't know the half of it. You ever see one of those manhole covers in the center of the street and wish you could just crawl under it and hide? That's me.
Yowza, girl, you got it bad. Just the name manhole cover conjures up all kinds of crazy ideas in my pretty little head, but that's a whole nother story. Crawling down in some dank and slimy sewer? Too much of a lady for that. What's got you in such a tizzy anyway? Those nasty rumors about you and that Ricky Ricardo fella? Was he really the bad boy they say he was? Doesn't do it for me.
Yeah, well, like I said, you don't know the half of it.
Well, I saw you on stage in a production of Chicago as Velma a few years back. If you can dish like that, honey, you should be able to put a little wannabe playboy like him in his place. If you know what I mean.
You might be onto something there. You're the second person that's told me to do just that. What do you think? Make him pay for his sins?
Okay, everyone, I think we are ready. Thank you, second team. Sure. Can someone please bring in the first team?
Here you go, Mr. Rossi.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Sure, Miss O'Connor.
Welcome. Sheridan. There we go. Okay, everyone, listen up. We're going to run through it once, just like we did in their separate rehearsals before we had our lead actors together on the set. We're going to go ahead and shoot it, just to make sure we have the lighting and the sound. We're going to ease into it slowly. This is not like the old days of film. With digital, we can do as many takes as we want. Remember to take a beat or two before you approach the cart. I want to establish that she is putting a book on the shelf. She's looking through some titles before you actually enter the frame.
Sure, Frank, yeah.
Okay, good. Rolling rehearsal. Sound speed.
Rolling sound.
Scene 1, take 1A, rehearsal.
And action.
Excuse me. Do you have this book?
Don't you have your own library?
Can't you answer a question?
Answer mine first.
Well, I think I'm allowed to come to the music library.
Well, we're not talking legality here. We're talking about what's right. Your general library has over 5 million books. Our little music library only has in thousands.
I don't think you understand. I only want one book, and I need it for tomorrow's class.
Oh, don't be pushy, Professor.
And how do you assume that I am a professor? And how do you know I don't belong to the music school?
Well, you're far too old to be a student, and simply not clever enough to be in this department.
Well, actually, I am a professor. And certainly just as intelligent as a librarian.
Well, actually, I am a professor of music and not a librarian, and certainly more intelligent.
And what makes you more intelligent?
Well, I wouldn't go out for coffee with you for starters.
I wouldn't ask you.
Well, see? That's what makes you less intelligent.
American women.
And cut. That was great. That was great. Now, Sheridan, that was really good. I liked how you kind of glared at him over your glasses. But I'd like to see a little more of that playfulness you had when we shot the similar scene in the original film. You had obviously been sizing him up, checking him out from across the room. When he comes up, he thinks you're the librarian, and you want to tease him to get his attention. You think you can do that?
Sure, Frank, no problem.
Oh, and yes, Frank. Would you mind telling Miss O'Connor that if she could look at me in the eyes when she delivers her lines to me?
If you could tell Mr. Rossi if he could refrain from leering at me over the cart, maybe I'd be able to look him in the eye.
Actually, Ricardo, Sheridan has a point. I was going to ask you to try not to buy into it quite so quickly. You're initially taken aback by this brash American woman who seems to be attacking you. You're a little flustered, but intrigued as you realize just how attractive she is. It isn't until she mentions not going out with you that you are aware that she is flirting with you.
No, but I'm supposed to be attracted to her. Otherwise, what's the point? In the original, we were attracted to each other immediately.
Of course you're attracted to her and to each other, and your reactions were great, just like always. I would just like to see that light in your eyes delayed a little while you react to her abruptness. Can you do that? Can you just stall a little bit?
Yeah, sure, Frank. Yeah.
Huh? Okay, let's try a take.
Okay.
Let's try a take.
Scene 1, take 3.
Excuse me. Cut. Back to 1, everybody.
Scene 1, take 6.
Okay, cut. Let's try this again. A little more energy into it this time.
Scene 1, take 8.
And action. Cut. Try it again.
And what makes you so superior?
Because I'm bright enough not to trust a smartass, and I wouldn't go out with you if my life depended on it.
And who in the hell would ask you?
Cut. Whoa, guys. Come on.
Sorry, Frank.
Jason, can you clear the set? Give us about 10 minutes here.
Just take 10 people. Good set, please. Thank you. Thanks, folks.
Okay, guys, let's have a little chat.
Frank, I'm sorry. Had I known that this lowlife son of a was going to get under my skin like that, but I had no idea he would be so rude and unprofessional.
What the fuck?
Okay, that's enough. This was supposed to be a remake, not a rematch. If you two kids can't get along together any better than this, you are both going to get a timeout.
A timeout? What the hell is a timeout?
A timeout is kind of like a mini jail sentence for kids, Ricardo. You both get sent to your room to reflect on your bad behavior. When you feel you can be civilized and act properly, you are let out to mingle among the general population. Now, I have to warn you, if you two can't assure me that you can get along and work together, regardless of how much I want this movie to be made, I will shut it down so quickly your heads will spin faster than Linda Blair's in The Exorcist. Is that what you want?
No.
No, Frank.
I didn't think so. You're both professionals. I really believe we have something here. But only if we can work together. Can you do that?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Then let's get back to work. Jason, can you please bring everyone back to the set?
All right, people, we're back.
Well. I'll be damned. No wonder Mom never wanted to talk about it. Mr. Rossi.
Yes, Ricardo, please. Or just Rick.
Thank you for coming. I know my request to meet must have seemed a little odd, but I hope you can answer a few questions.
On the contrary, I was pleased. I was always very fond of your mother. And I should have known her daughter would be just as lovely as you.
Hey, Lori. Good to see you again. Just couldn't stay away.
Hi, Alex. Yeah, you know me and bagels.
So, the usual cinnamon raisin then?
No, you know what? I'm gonna stick to coffee for now, but I'll take a few to go later. Oh, sorry, Alex. This is Mr. Rossi. Mr. Rossi, Alex.
It is a pleasure, Mr. Rossi. I was hoping that Lori would introduce us. My mom is a huge fan of yours and all those old Italian classics. I grew up on them, actually. I mean, well, as soon as I was able to read subtitles, that is. I recognized you immediately when you walked in the door. I've known Lori's mom for years.
It's my pleasure. Alex, was it?
Yes, Alexandra to be specific. You can call me anything. I'm not gonna wash this for a week. Wait till I tell my mom. She's gonna die.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
I've been coming here since I moved to LA. I don't know. Reminds me of New York, I guess.
I guess I know why.
Okay, here you go. Let me know if you guys change your mind or need any bagels.
Thanks, Alex.
Thank you.
So, I guess you're all wondering why I've called this meeting today.
Scusa?
No, it's just sorry. I'm just a little nervous. I'm not quite sure how to ask the things I want to know.
As you Americans like to say, it's a long story, but I think I can explain what happened and why your mother will not talk to me still after 30 years.
So you actually haven't been in touch all this time while my mother was married to my father?
No, not even email. Actually, the very last time that I spoke with your mother was the morning that we were supposed to get married back in 1979. I don't mind telling you that your mother broke my heart. I think I'm still trying to get over it.
What happened? Did you get in a huge fight or something?
No, a fight, no. Maybe little disagreements like young people, sure. Mostly about my jealousy now that I think about it, but nothing big.
It must have been something major for her to break it off on your wedding day. It definitely doesn't sound like my mother.
Well, not really. Let me explain. I was driving the junk of the car that I had, and it broke down on Hollywood Boulevard. So I picked up my nice tuxedo, rented tuxedo, and the shiny shoes, and Ricardo goes to the closest bus stop, without knowing, of course, that this was the favorite place for the immigration department to pick up illegal aliens.
Oh boy, let me guess. You were illegal and got arrested?
Well, I didn't think of myself as illegal. I had a student visa. I was almost finished with my classes. I went to an open casting call with another exchange student. In the excitement of the moment, I decided to audition. And what happens? Your mother and I get booked together. And so I guess you can say that I did not leave when I was supposed to.
Mom knew you were illegal and still agreed to marry you? I can't imagine Grandma Irene allowing that.
Well, not exactly, Cara. I was crazy about your mom. I didn't want her to think that I was getting married to her for the papers. So I didn't tell her. And your grandmother, she didn't need any more ammunition. I always pictured her that she was gonna send her off somewhere to marry some rich American. To have her beautiful daughter married to a starving actor and an Italian? No way. I was young and stupid, and I didn't think. I figured by then it would be too late, and we would live happily ever after.
Wow. How'd she react when you finally told her?
I tried calling your mother, but your grandmother never let me talk to her. And I wrote to your mother. For months, she never wrote back.
God, this sounds like a bad soap opera. Why didn't you come back for her?
I got deported. They didn't let me come for 10 years. But of course, then after that, it was too late anyway, because I had found out that your mother went to New York and married your father. And I stopped writing.
I'm sorry, Ricardo. I always thought my mom was so forgiving.
Well, don't be so hard on her. Falling in love in the movie, falling in love outside the movie. It was all very romantic, but crazy. It was hard to know where the movie ended and our story began. But you know, that day that I got to see your mother in the casting office, for 1 minute, I thought that maybe we could start all over again, that it wasn't too late.
Did you ever marry and have a family of your own?
Don't tell her, but to be honest with you, I never found anybody like your mother. People don't change. The world changes around them. And your mother's still inside the beautiful girl that I fell in love with. She is still softer on the outside, but in the inside she's tough to probably take care of all the things that came her way.
Would you like for me to try to speak to her for you?
Oh, cara mia, I don't think it would work. You don't know how much she hates me. As a matter of fact, I didn't know how much she hated me.
Okay, but if you do decide to talk to her, I wouldn't mention that we got together. I don't think she's ready to hear about that.
No.
My mom's obviously been good at keeping secrets all these years. Maybe we could keep one of our own?
Oh, sure. I can call you Lori, no?
Of course.
You know, looking at you now, you reminded me of her. Beautiful, you're intelligent, you're sweet like her. But you know, physically, you don't look that much like her. Funny, you reminded me of my mother.
Well, knowing how most Italian males feel about their mother, I'll take that as a compliment, Ricardo. So, friends with secrets?
Oh, I like that. Yes, friends with secrets, I like that.
Hi, Aunt Eileen. Hi, honey. Grandma said you'd be stopping by.
Like I had a choice. It was either that or face the wrath of Khan. How is the bee this morning?
Buzzing. Guess Mom hasn't been around much lately. Hey, I met Mr. Rossi the other day. Seems really nice. Don't you think we should hook him up with Mom again now that she's alone. I mean, you said yourself they really had a thing for each other once.
Lori, I said no such thing, and you know it. Do not start sucking me into your plotting. I'm in enough trouble with your mother. I'm coming, Mom.
Hey, Mom. Oh, Lori, sweetie. I didn't know you were going to be over this way today.
I didn't plan to, but had to see a patient nearby and practically was going to pass by here on my way back, so stopped in to see how your shoot's going.
Well, I'm glad you did. Come on, have a seat. We're just going to be a few minutes here. We're almost done. Marty, this is my daughter, Lori. I told him all about our little Max.
Oh, hi, Marty. My apologies. Grandmas can get a bit carried away.
Carried away? You want carried away? Marty, show her that picture you showed me earlier of your alter ego on weekends, Augusta Wind.
Oh, that old thing. You sure she's ready for Augusta? After all, we've only just met.
Wow. I'm coming to you for wardrobe tips along with hair and makeup. That's impressive. Speaking of impressive, guess who I ran into on my way over here?
Oh, did you meet Frank? He can come off with a roar at first, but he's really a pussycat.
No, actually, your co-star, Mr. Rossi. How come you never told me how charming he is?
Mr. Rossi, really? And where did you happen to run into Mr. Rossi?
Oh, on set. The guard at the gate told me to go to the soundstage, and Ricardo's the one who walked me over here to find you.
Oh, he did he? And what did you and Ricardo talk about?
Oh, you know, the usual, just pleasantries about how the filming's going.
So, in his expert opinion, filming has been pleasant?
Yeah, he said it's going great. He seems thrilled to be working with you again. You know, I didn't know it'd been so long since you'd seen each other. Must be fun catching up after all these years and everything that's happened.
Yeah, well, a lot can happen in 30 plus years. Maybe more than he bargained for? Are we through here?
I guess. If Her Majesty says so, I guess I can do last looks on set.
Thank you, Marty. I would like to spend a little time with my daughter, and I gotta go scoot over to wardrobe again and get fixed up to go back.
Oh, no problem, Debbie Diva. I'm merely your handmaiden here to serve your every wish.
Well, what do you and Max have planned for the weekend?
Oh, so we were thinking that...
Sheridan.
You just can't let it alone, can you, Ricardo?
You know, I don't remember you being this angry all the time.
You're right. I am angry. I have 30 years of angry bottled up inside of me, and it takes a lot of energy to stay that way. I don't want to waste that energy on you. But that stunt you pulled this morning with my daughter.
What stunt? What are you talking about?
Like you don't know. Pretending to be Mr. Nice Guy, all suave and debonair. Trying to charm her when she came on set. Walking her over to meet me in makeup. You think you're being very clever, don't you?
You know, I don't understand. You're angry at me because I was nice to your daughter. Do you want me to be mean to her?
No, of course not. Oh, I don't know. I don't know what I want. I just want you to leave us alone. Everything was fine before you came back. Now everything's a mess. I'm a mess. You've ruined everything, just like last time.
I'm sorry, Sheridan, but I don't understand. I came to tell you what a beautiful job you did with your daughter. She's such a lovely woman. And for what she's told me about you and your husband, you did a great job raising her. You should be proud.
Scene 46, take one.
Action.
Do you have to play the music so loud while we're reading?
I'm studying the music. It's called analysis of form.
While you're reading?
Yes, women are very good at multitasking. Haven't you heard? Why are you staring at me?
Because I never know when you're serious.
Isn't that part of my mystery?
I guess, but it makes me doubt my English.
Well, how's this for serious then? I think I'm in love with you.
Oh, God, you don't know how long I waited to hear those words.
I can't do this again. Frank, would you please tell your actor to stick to the script?
All right, cutting. Okay, everybody. Looks like we got a little break. Take a few minutes. Don't go far. Ricardo, I have to have a word with you.
You call that an antipasti?
Do I detect a bad day at the office?
Mamma mia, I don't know how much more I can take of this. Last night I woke up sweating, with Sheridan standing over me. She was going to kill me with one of those ice things that come from the roof, you know, in the winter. What do you call them?
Icicle?
Yes, with an icicle. Can you imagine?
Well, we don't have that expression, cold as ice for nothing, you know. Speaking of cold, I hear it's been a little chilly down on the set lately.
It's okay with me with the forget and forgive thing, you know? She's the one.
Well, you did do a number on her, don't forget. You know, that whole thing in the press was one big clusterfuck. First they got you running off with that slut Simone, and then when they figured out you were deported, they played it up like you were marrying her for your papers.
Yeah, well, you know, the studio really took advantage of that. But me personally, I always felt bad about the part about the visa.
Does she know that? You know, it couldn't have been fun facing that premiere press all by herself. In fact, I heard that she turned down several films afterwards because she couldn't handle it. Said the actors on Broadway were treated much better.
Well, you know, life gets full of those downs and ups.
Yes, it does.
Mom? Hey, Mom! You back here? Hi, Mom. What are you up to? I thought the gardener comes today.
Oh, he does. You know I wouldn't let him manicure my babies. He'd just butcher them. Besides, I was so tired studying my lines. Okay, what's up? Looks like you have the Final Jeopardy answer or something.
What is... I told Daniel yes? Ah! I was gonna wait to tell you, but I just couldn't.
So happy for you. Have you told Max yet?
Not yet. Daniel and I want to tell him together, probably this weekend.
You know, your dad and I always felt that he was right for you.
Yeah, I know Dad always liked him. Just wish I'd figured it out sooner.
So, what made you finally decide?
I guess I can give Dad credit for that, too. Seeing you on your own made me realize that we never really know how much time we have. What if I was passing up our best years together?
Well, I'm not sure your dad would be thrilled that it took that much to get you motivated, but he'd be very happy for you. Hey, how about some iced tea? I think we've got a wedding to plan.
Yay!
It's Saul. Just be a minute. Go ahead. Hey, Saul. What's the good news? They replaced my co-star yet?
That's a good one, Sheridan. You're going to see him again.
Wasn't there something in my contract? No socializing?
Don't I know? And I did call legal today. They said that it's considered strictly promotion. I'm sorry, Sheridan, but I'm afraid you're going to have to go along with this one. But trust me, baby, you won't be sorry.
Saul, you have just ruined a perfectly beautiful afternoon.
Tonight I have the distinct privilege of having two of my favorite actors reunited in a television first. I do believe it's actually the first time these two actors have appeared together on television, or anywhere else for that matter, since their big screen debuts in Passport to Love way back in the late 70s. I understand from all the buzz in Hollywood that the two of you are to star in a remake of that very same film you did over 30 years ago. You must have been just kids then. Are we looking forward to this?
we are, and thank you for the kids part. I'd like to start by saying how grateful we are to our director, Mr. Frank Zelsky, for bringing us together again on this project.
That's not exactly what you said when you found out that I was your co-star.
So, Ricardo, I take it it's not always easy going back.
That's an understatement.
For those of you watching tonight who don't know the backstory on all of this, Ricardo Rossi and Sheridan O'Connor were two relative unknowns in Hollywood, and they skyrocketed to stardom in their first film together, Passport to Love. They play two college kids, they fall madly in love, forsake family and money for the chance to build a life together, only to have it ripped away from them all too early. I have that right so far?
Yes.
And the way I remember the sizzle is, both of you, on screen and off, were pretty hot back then. So, what happened?
Well, Larry, like you said, we were kids, and the press got a hold of our story. The paparazzi started coming after us as soon as they found out.
So I guess the two of you weren't really as much of an item as they made it out to be. The dating and everything was a publicity stunt?
Well, I wouldn't just say it was just publicity. We had a relationship of sorts.
Well, really, what sort was that?
Yeah, I'd like to hear that. What sort, Sheridan?
Like you said, we were young and we were single, and it was all very exciting.
So nothing serious then?
Yes, actually, Larry, we had plans to get married. I just ran into a little problem with my immigration visa at the time.
A little problem with your visa? You leave me stranded at the altar on our wedding day? I never hear from you again. Best you can come up with, it's a little problem with your visa?
Well, I guess we have more ground to cover with this little reunion than we thought.
Wait a minute, Sheridan. Maybe I didn't do things right, but I tried to explain. That mother of yours never let me talk to you. Why do you think I wrote you all those letters?
Letters? What letters? I never got any letters.
I wrote you every single day, asking you for forgiveness.
I repeat, I never got any letters. What'd you do, forget to mail them like you forgot to show up for our wedding?
Well, maybe it didn't cause you any problems, because the last time that I called, your mother said that you had gone to New York to marry some Broadway producer.
I'm sorry, Larry. I'm sorry. I can't do this. I can't do this right now.
We'll be back right after these words. Wow.
Hello?
What the hell happened to you?
Nice to hear from you too, dear. I'm home. I've got a little bug, and it sounds like you've got one up your ass.
Eileen, did you know all along?
Know what?
That Ricardo had been calling and he had written all those letters, you know?
No, I didn't know about any letters. Well, not right away. Years later, Bob did make some kind of nasty remark about that little wop of yours single-handedly keeping the postal service in business, but I thought it was just one of her moods. I wasn't about to go there.
And you didn't think to tell me about that little fact.
You were already married to Sam. Lori was a toddler, and I just didn't want to go there. Why open old wounds? Hello? Sheridan?
Consuelo. Ah, yes, Consuelo. Is Mother upstairs?
Yes, ma'am. Welcome back. I think she's resting right now. Lydia take her to see La Doctora this morning. La Doctora say she be strong like ox and live for another 20 years. You and Miss Eileen be very happy, no?
Oh, just thrilled, provided I don't kill her first.
Oh, that's enough already, Lydia. Please, stop your fussing.
Cheerful as always, I see, Mother. Hello, Lydia. Heard things went well at the doctor's this morning?
Yes, ma'am. Just a little high blood pressure, but that's under control. Probably healthier than the both of us.
Hello, dear. I was wondering how long you'd keep using your big movie as an excuse to stop coming to see me. How long has it been? 3 weeks?
Miss Irene, now you know full well it's only been 10 days. She makes me keep track on my calendar.
Wow, Mother. So how many points am I behind Eileen now?
Oh, now, dear, you know I never keep score. But obviously, Eileen has put a little guilt trip on you.
No, actually. Unlike some people, she respects my privacy and my desire to live my own life.
I'll just be downstairs if you need me, Miss Sheridan.
Thank you, Lydia. Well, at least Lori likes spending time with me.
We'll see how long that lasts when she finds out how her dear, sweet grandmama, what she did to her.
What I did to her? What do you mean?
Well, Mommy dearest, I used to think you were just jealous because I was able to combine my career with marriage and family, and you had to give up your big singing career to have Eileen and me. Well, that was what we heard all the time growing up, right?
Oh, don't be silly, Sheridan.
You know, I forgave you. I excused your bitterness. I even felt sorry for you sometimes. I gave you far too much credit, didn't I, Mother? It was all about you, wasn't it?
I don't have the slightest idea what you're talking about.
How could you? How could you take Ricardo's letters? They were mine. You knew how much I loved him. You watched me suffer. I was desperate to hear from him. What gives you the right to take away a decision that could change the rest of my life and just take it away?
He called a few days after the wedding fiasco, and his accent was so thick. Just, his gun when the connection was poor. And he gave some lame excuse about being back in Italy, and he was so sorry. But you know how these hot-blooded Mediterranean types are. So much drama was all I could do to keep from hanging up on him. Look, that Dago humiliated you in the press. He humiliated all of us. And I wasn't about to let that swarthy little Italian hurt me or my family anymore.
Did you ever stop and think about what I wanted?
Well, I must say he was very persistent. We got a letter nearly every single day. And he kept calling, too, for the longest time. So I finally told him that you had met someone else.
Mother, what have you done?
I kept them all, you know. They've been right here all along.
Oh, Miss O'Connor, hello. Mr. Rossi's just finishing
Debbie,
up.
that last scene.
Yeah. Well, okay then. I'm gonna get going. I'll see you later at the wrap party. Or not.
We have the place all to ourselves. Hey, we picked a good day. Usually they're uber busy this time of year. Now remember, Claudette can be a real bitch, but she has some of the best selection in town. She's reminding me, isn't she? Claudette, darling, you look lovely today. As I told you, I want you to meet two of my dearest clients, Sheridan, Lori. This is one of the top bridal consultants in LA, Claudette De La Rue.
I'm charmed. I'm sure.
Well, alrighty then. Ladies, I'm gonna leave you in Claudette's very capable hands. Luckily, we already pulled some samples that we think might work. Let me know if you need anything at all. Toodles!
It's a little bit last season, but whatever. Okay, let's see. We go with aubergine for the girls, and we've got 2 good possibilities for you. Oh, I really like this first one with the pearls that you tried on. And we narrowed the cake down to 3. Yeah, not bad for one afternoon.
Yeah, but if I want to look halfway decent in any of these, I may have to skip lunch today.
Oh, look at you. Oh. You know, honey, after your initial hesitation about not going the route of a more traditional wedding, I am so glad you did. It means a lot to me.
Oh.
Here.
Please clip it really well.
Okay. And there.
Heave-ho! I feel like a princess. Yeah, this one's nice. You know, speaking of a traditional route, that's something I wanted to run by you. You know how I always dreamed of having Dad walk me down the aisle one day, and obviously that's not happening. So,
Oh, honey, of course. I'd be happy to stand in for Dad. Everybody will understand.
that's just it, Mom. I was thinking, you know, so it looks more traditional, of asking Ricardo, Mr. Rossi, to do it.
Mr. Rossi? You barely know him. I mean, if you want an older man, what about something like Uncle George? I mean, at least he's family.
I adore Uncle George, but he reeks of stale cigars and can barely walk. How's he going to escort me down an aisle? Besides, Mr. Rossi isn't a stranger.
Oh, and when was I going to hear about this?
I've gotten to know him since you started the movie, and, well, I don't know, we have a connection. He just really gets where I'm coming from. He's really a wonderful man.
Yeah, well, the jury's still out on that one.
Mom, I think it's time we talked about this aversion you have to Mr. Rossi. You never wanted to discuss him with me before, but it's okay. But how long are you going to keep pretending nothing happened between you two? I mean, it involves me now too, you know. You'd be amazed at what you can find out from Googling your names together. Like, I know all about your little romance. But don't worry, Mr. Rossi covered for you. He said it was before you ever met Daddy.
Oh my God, you've discussed this with him? He knows?
Yeah, it's no big deal, Mother. I always thought I'd end up with Max's father, and look what happened there. Stuff happens, life happens, people change. Aren't you the one always trying to convince me that everything happens for a reason?
So, you're okay with this then? I mean, you don't hate me?
Yeah, it wasn't a big deal, Mom. You were both adults, made your own decisions back then.
I was always worried that, you know, that you'd resent me, that, for keeping it from you all those years. Oh, it was all so confusing back then. He took off without a word. He leaves me like that. I get shipped off to Aunt Peg's in New York. God, back then it was such a big scandal. Then I met your father, and he was so wonderful. He was kind. And he wanted to take care of me, of us.
Wait a minute. Are we talking about the same thing here? The fact that you planned on marrying Mr. Rossi before you married Dad, and chances are Dad never knew about it? Mom, answer me.
Sophie, I am so sorry. I thought you meant you knew. I thought somehow Mr. Rossi found out, and I meant to tell you when the time was right.
Okay, stop. Let me get this straight. You're telling me that Ricardo Rossi is actually my father, and in 30 plus years, you never thought to tell either of us?
Yes, but I can explain.
Sure. act your way out of it. God, they'll have to give you a Lifetime Achievement Award for this one. What, first you con Dad and then me?
Please, lower your voice. Your father was well aware of my prior indiscretion. He loved you like his own. Doesn't that mean something?
Oh my God. Dad knew too? Jesus H. Christ. I don't believe this. I can't deal this. Oh my God.
Lori, sweetie.
Go away.
Please.
Had I only known life could have turned out so differently. Had I only known we could have made so many memories. Had I only known there would be no need to weep.
She's still angry at you,
Yeah, she hasn't returned my calls or my texts for over a week. I can't say that I blame her. And thank you.
Thank me?
Yes, for coming today. I mean, you should be angry with me too.
No.
Remember when we used to come here and hide from the press?
Yes.
You used to tell me in your broken English all about growing up in Italy and all the beautiful places you were going to take me.
Hey, my English wasn't so bad then. Well, maybe it was. But I remember you telling me that LA was the most wonderful place on earth, especially for actors. That's when you picked up and moved to New York.
Well, didn't exactly have much of a choice. God, we were such kids then, Ricardo. Did we even have a plan?
We didn't need a plan. We had each other. Why didn't you tell me about the baby?
Probably for the same reason you didn't tell me you were illegal. Pride. Or maybe I was just naive. I wanted you to marry me for love, not for some sense of duty. Mother always suspected you didn't have papers. And then when you didn't show up, just figured you'd chickened out.
I would have loved to see Laura growing up.
I'm so sorry, Ricardo. I thought it was the best thing for everyone at the time. Then years later, well, Sam was a wonderful father to her. And if it's any consolation, I felt guilty. Especially when I read about the fact that you didn't have a wife or a family. No one special in your life?
No. And I don't blame you for that. I'm a romantic at heart. I didn't want to settle for something that it wasn't as good as we had before.
Down here! Hey there! Hey! Oh, let me help you with that. Thanks.
Oh, imagine this is all just for the shower tomorrow. What's the wedding gonna be like?
How goes your truce with Lori?
Tentative, to say the least. I mean, she being civil, but for a while there, I wasn't even sure she was going to let me come to the wedding.
Sheridan, that will never happen. You know it. She'll come around even more. You just wait and see. I'm a little more worried about you and your Italian stallion meeting up without a script. So, if you know what I mean. What do you think?
Well, I haven't been able to bring you up to speed much since filming finished, but you know, all the piss and vinegar just kind of drained out of me. I can't stay angry at him. I can't believe I was dumb enough to trust Mom.
Do I sense a return of your appreciation for Verdi and all things Italian?
I don't know about all things Italian, but I can at least look at a plate of fettuccine now without getting indigestion. And we did meet up like you suggested yesterday.
Wait, meet up with him like in a date?
No, meet up as in meet up for coffee.
Oh God, I just love dirt. Tell all. You know I just love that kind of stuff, especially when my own family's rolling around in it.
No dirt to sweep under the rug here. Besides, at this age, it'd be more of a thrill to see Lori's face if she found out I really was having sex than actually doing it. He has been rather gracious, though.
Gracious enough to stoke the boiler room down in the basement and get it all heated up.
Eileen, enough with the euphemisms, okay?
You started it. Oh, besides, I think it's kind of cool. It's kind of like when we were in high school and the football jock sees the nerdy little girl at the high school dance and, oh, it's just, oh. Have you told the papers? Did they pick up the story?
No, and I fail to see any similarities. I mean, at this age, after 30 years, and I mean, all we have in common is that we procreated a daughter 30 years ago. Hardly a story to keep up with.
30 years and you've rekindled an old romance? Oh, honey, let's stoke those fires.
They can huff and puff as much as they want. This campfire girl's not going for any more merit badges. And not a word to Lori about this, okay? Understand?
Spoiler. Coming!
Ciao.
Ciao!
That's what I love about you Americans. Always so punctual.
Well, you look like you're ready to go, so Italians can't be all that laid back. And if we're talking stereotypes, I just found out about my Italian side. No wonder I always talk with my hands.
Well, I had to be ready. I have a first impression to make. I'm meeting my future son-in-law tonight.
Aw, I wouldn't worry. He's looking forward to it. Compared to meeting Grandma Irene, this is a piece of cake.
If it was like my first, it went like a lead brick.
Yeah, a lead balloon went over like a lead balloon.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Whatever. I meant to tell you, Daniel's actually a big fan. Dragged me to one of your art house films last year, with subtitles, no less. Little did I know, while watching Don Giovesi order a hit, I'd be a part of his little mafia one day.
Oh, well, I guess life is full of little surprises, huh? Shall we?
Ah, see.
Powerful stuff, man. Looks like you got a winner on your hands.
Thanks to you, bro.
Don't mention it. Just make sure they put my name right in the credits. Great work, you two, despite your artistic differences. Oh, okay, everybody, I got a split, but it's been a real slice.
Nice job, Frank. I'm sure the studio is going to be happy. And I think I can get the marketing machine up and running now to really promote this baby. So, as soon as you have a trailer, you got to let me know, okay? And I'm going to start setting up the talk show circuit for you guys, all right? Lunch Thursday?
Yeah.
Great.
Hey, guys, don't keep me in suspense here. What'd you think?
Well,
You go ahead, Ricardo.
no, ladies first, please.
Geez, where was all his politeness when we were filming? I can hardly stand it. Come on, one of you talk.
I have to tell you, Frank, it really moved me. I was able to forget it was me up there. That constantly irritating way my lip curls didn't even bother me, and I was not hating that I looked half dead in that hospital scene.
I'm telling you, you guys still got it. What about you, Rick?
Oh, it's very good. It's very good, Frank. You know, it's just like Jim said. You have a winner.
Still rough, but you're okay with the cut?
Yeah, it's good. Actually, it's super good, yes. And, you know, Mark has been so good to me, letting me stay in his place all this time. I rented a place, so I'm gonna be here for the wedding and the release. And so, guys, don't worry, I'll stay around this time.
I'll be right back. Hey, Ricardo, you okay?
Sure, why?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe because you look like you think somebody really died up there on screen?
Maybe I'm just that kind of a sensitive guy.
No, seriously, is everything okay with it? I mean, I thought the production value was great, and you're acting spot on as usual.
Well, thank you, Miss O'Connor. Very nice compliment coming from you. It's just that it made me think, about a lot of things. Like maybe everyone should try to remake their own ending. Oh, and I just thought of something. You remember my friend Luigi that owns a restaurant in Beverly Hills? He suggested that you take a look at his menu. If you're still having the rehearsal dinner there, and I'll be more than happy to take you. So that you can meet the owner. Maybe Friday?
Friday? Yeah, that would be nice.
Okay, then until Friday. Mwah.
You said that we were just going to be checking the menu for the rehearsal dinner. This is beginning to feel suspiciously like a date.
I didn't say this was going to be only business. It's not every day that I get to go out to dinner with a beautiful girl in a city full of memories.
Well, according to the tabloids, that's not exactly what I heard.
Well, let me change that. It's not every day that I get to go out to dinner with a beautiful woman who brings back so many wonderful memories.
And who knew that one of those little memories would now be over 30 years old and all grown up? To Lori.
To our daughter, Lori. Don't you wonder how different our lives would have been if I would have shown up at the church that day?
Oh, I try not to.
But you were happy with some, weren't you?
Probably happier than I deserve to be. Sam came riding in on his trusty white steed to save the damsel in distress. Just in the nick of time.
But you loved him.
Eventually, sure. But never like us. That kind of thing only happens once.
Sheridan, I think we should try again. What if he's still there?
We were a couple of love-struck teenagers. We had pie-in-the-sky dreams and not a clue about life. At this stage of our lives, I can't even fathom going back there again.
Just because we are a little older means we cannot find love. We can't live happily ever after. That doesn't happen only in the movies, What happened to that heartwarming, free-spirited girl that I used to know?
She had to grow up. One of us had to raise our daughter.
I'm sorry, Sheridan. I'm sorry I didn't start things right tonight. I promise you, if we do this again, I will not bring back anything from the past.
No apologies necessary. And considering the food and wine, I can guarantee you we'll be back here again.
Yes?
The rehearsal dinner? You do remember the reason we're here, right?
Yes. And that reminds me, I wanted to mention to you about the dinner that Lori wants to make an announcement that I am her biological father. She was very insistent. She wants to bring it out in the open before the wedding. Are you okay with that?
I don't really see where I have much of a choice. Poor Sam. And she's just doing this to spite me.
No, Sheridan. She's not. She loves him. And she understands. She's doing it for me. She's doing it for her. She wants a complete family. At least for that special day.
Well, I guess like everything else lately, I'll adapt. But are you okay with being outed? You haven't exactly had a lot of time to adjust to fatherhood.
No, I'm fine with it. As a matter of fact, I'm flattered. But it's a little strange. It makes me think about being a better person and a better example for her.
Very familiar with that feeling. It's called being a parent.
I guess we should get our full-figured fanny packs down to the church. You ready, Mom?
Well, we're not going to be able to talk her out of it. I guess we might as well.
Mom!
Oh, please. Look, Eileen certainly isn't the Publishers Clearinghouse poster child for marriage. And look at the two of us after all these years. We're still alone.
And on that cheery note...
Oh, come on. Let's go.
Fine.
Go get him, kid.
Thanks, Grandma.
Grandma's right, you know.
What about, honey?
About you being alone in your old age.
Oh, gee, thanks. And here I thought I looked pretty good today.
Mom, you look great. That's the point. You're still young enough to enjoy life. Start over again.
Honey, I had a great life with your father, even if he was taken too soon. I'm happy being a grandma, and I love my career. Maybe after today I can be a grandma again. Come on, this is your special day. Don't waste time worrying about me.
That's just it, Mom. I listened all those times you said not to waste the good things in life. You also told me one good example is worth 10 sermons about the same thing. How about a good example now? You and Ricardo had something good once. You even almost got married.
Oh, enough. Don't remind me. Last thing I need is dating advice from my daughter on her wedding day. We need to focus on you and that handsome man waiting.
You know, I'm not really good at this technological stuff. I think you're gonna have to teach me.
That's okay. Lena said you have a disadvantage because your first language isn't English.
She did she?
Yep. She also said I should call you Mummy because that's what grandpas in India call her.
Yes, and that would be very nice. You know, I don't have a grandson, and I would be very proud to be your grandpa.
I guess that'd be okay. Grandpa Sam's gone to heaven, so I don't have one now.
Well, I know, and I also heard that you and Grandpa Sam used to play a lot together. So maybe you and I can play now, that your mommy and Daniel are going on their honeymoon.
I guess. Are you gonna stay at Nana's house too while they're gone?
Well, I don't think Nana's gonna let me have a sleepover, but maybe you can talk to her about it.
I don't even think Max will be able to convince her of that one.
Ladies.
Well, maybe we could cheer him on with an SCORE score.
Well, at least he showed up at the church this time.
What'd I tell you two about behaving today?
Excuse me, Lori, Mr. Rossi, I think we should get started. Is it okay if I cue the organist?
We'll just give it just a minute, Victoria.
Sure, no problem. Just let me know when you're ready.
Yeah, we will, thank you.
Thank you.
I know this is your special day, but I have a little favor to ask.
Okay.
Yeah, that works for me. Not that when. Victoria. It's okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have been asked here today to witness the celebration of life and love joining together in holy matrimony. And on this joyous occasion, I would like to start by asking, who gives this young man, Daniel Gupta, up in marriage?
I do, Daniel's mother.
And who gives this young woman, Lori Simmons, up in marriage?
We do, Lori's parents.
We are going to deviate a little from our prescribed path today, and I have had a special request by bride's father. Mr. Ross?
Sheridan, over 30 years ago, I was on my way to a church, very much like this one, to marry you, with this license, with me. Through no fault of my own, oh, well, almost, I never made it, and I regretted it ever since. In front of God and your family, well, our family now, I ask you to please give me a last chance to love. Sheridan, would you marry me? Here, now, today, so I don't spend another day wondering if you would do it all over again.
May I just say something?
No!
Yes. Oh, yes.
Can you help me get up? It was easier the last time.
Had I only known life could have turned out so differently. Had I only known we could have made so many memories. Had I only known there would be no need to weep. Had I only known you would have made my life complete. Life sometimes gives us second chances to be as we were meant to be, to laugh, to love, to share some glances, a heart renewed, so full and free. I learned to cherish moments shared and dare not think what might have been, to grab at life with loving care or risk the loss of you again. Had I only known life could have turned out so differently. Had I only known we could have made so many memories. Had I only known there would be no need to weep. Had I only known you would have made my life complete. I learned the steps to every dance, but always missed a beat, till life and love and circumstance gave me wings for feet. Life's much too short, so be prepared for every now and then. Reflect on what will make you dare to know, if not now, then when. Had I only known life could have turned out so differently. Had I only known we could have made so many memories. Had I only known there would be no need to weep. Had I only